It's lovely to have you along on 11 o'clock on the most glorious day in the Western Cape. If you're joining us from anywhere else out and about outside of the Western Cape, it's lekker to have you. Nice to see so many people joining us today for what promises to be an amazing festive experience with Food Lovers Market. I think everyone's in. How's it, everybody? And I hope you're all comfortable. I hope you're all doing okay. You and your families are all as healthy as can possibly be. And of course, it is the beginning of December, and that, of course, means we need to be a little bit more festive. And who to do it better other than the best in fresh Food Lovers Market? So it's been a really tough year for a lot of people this year, but we want to kind of make December very special, and we just want to obviously just thank everybody for their role in terms of creating awareness around the brand that is Food Lovers Market. And this time of the year, I mean, this is just the most amazing time. If you celebrate Christmas or not, it's festive. You can feel it, you can sense it, and nothing quite says it's festive like food. The way food embraces our tummies, the way food embraces our lives around this time of the year. And of course, there's some amazing deals. You know where to go to, the best in fresh guaranteed from Food Lovers Market. So we don't have any kind of rules other than you need to just enjoy yourselves while you're here with us. We've got some amazing chefs. We've got some amazing people presenting on how to just make your festive experience over the next couple of weeks and months amazing. If you've got kids with you, well, that's lekker. We've got something for the kids, but more importantly, we've got something for literally everything. We've tried to make it so that if somebody walks away, or that you all walk away with a little bit of everything. Any questions that you have throughout the course of our presentation, you can either raise your hand virtually. Everyone knows how to do that. And on the bottom is a little raise your hand. Otherwise, what might be easiest to do is if you put your questions in. Use the chat, put your questions in, and then I will chat with whoever it is that's giving the workshop. In this instance, it's going to be Chef Bret, who I want to introduce you to in a short while. Put your questions in, and when we get a gap, I'll raise that with Chef Bret. But please, I mean, this is really informal. If you do want to talk, go ahead and just signal Chef Bret in this instance, and let him know what your questions are, and he'll talk you through what we're doing today. The most important thing is obviously fun. We've got people from all walks of life that are joining us over the course of today, and we really want to emphasize having fun. I know that a lot of you are looking forward to, I know I am, 3 o'clock today. We're going to drink our, because I looked inside the bag, I'm like, wow, there's gin, there's the bubbles. Are we allowed to drink that now? I suppose the answer is sure. If you want to have a little sip, feel free from the comfort of your home. I see a gentleman over there with a bottle of wine in front of them already. Guys, you go for it. If you feel festive, feel free to help yourselves and get stuck into that. But like I said, we're going to have a lot of fun. And if you are going to be on social sharing any of the stuff that you are being taught today, there's a hashtag Food Lovers Workshop, hashtag Food Lovers Workshop on socials. Other than that, guys, enjoy. We're in great hands today. Kicking us off today is one of the very best of the best. I've enjoyed his stuff, his content, not only the stuff he's shared on Food Lovers Market platforms, but also in his own capacity. And that is at Stir Crazy Cooking School on social media. At Stir Crazy Cooking School, ladies and gents, the Chef extraordinaire, Chef Bret. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Stir Crazy Kitchen. So in the background, you can see our kitchen over there. And this is where we do all our cooking courses and a lot of demonstrations that we've done as well. So as Ryan said, please just tag us on Food Lovers Workshop and then also Stir Crazy Cooking School. And follow us and take a look at some of the videos we've done and obviously some of the stuff that we're going to be doing. So as Ryan said, it's a festive cooking class today. We're about to head into the festive season, and I've selected 2 delicious recipes for you that sort of fit into the whole mold of Christmas. I can see some of you guys are wearing Christmas hats and things as well, which is also really nice. Okay, that's cool. Who's that? Isel. Nice little pixie outfit there. Fantastic. So I've got 2 recipes here. The first one is a cranberry and white chocolate stuffed Christmas chicken with chicken thighs. You can use obviously thighs or chicken breast for this. And then the other one is a beetroot and feta tart tatin. So tart tatin is quite an interesting dish to do. You might have heard of an apple or a pear tart tatin. So it can be done as a dessert or it can be done as a veggie dish. Today we're doing a vegan tart tatin, or giving you a vegan option. So we'll get onto that shortly. So I'm going to start off by doing the beetroot tartatin. And the reason we do that is because it takes quite a while to prepare. So some of you might have your recipes already. I don't know if anyone's cooking along, but I've prepared beetroot already. And you can see my finger's a little bit red. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to take this beetroot and I'm going to slice it up into a pie dish. So there's two different ways we can do this. The one is we can put it into a pie dish like this. And essentially a tart tatin is an upside down pie or tart. So you can see from this dish here, can everyone see this? I'm going to be working mostly on this side here. So everything's going to be demoed here. So I've laid out the beetroot and I've sliced it up into this really nice pattern, but I'm going to show you how to do it in the pie dish anyway. So you can either use a pie dish or you can use a frying pan. So all of this can be done pretty much on a frying pan or in the oven. This one we're going to do directly in the oven, and I'm also going to use a little bit of stovetop stuff here so that we can get a nice sauce going. So essentially what it is, I'm going to bring the ingredients out. So we've got a little bit of red onion. There's some butter here. I've brought some Christmas spice. So Christmas spice is essentially cinnamon, star anise, and I've got allspice here, which, and I don't know if you guys have ever been to the gin bar in Long Street, but what's quite nice about that is you go and ask for a Christmas gin, and they put all of these spices in there and they add a little bit of foam, and it gives you this real Christmassy taste. It's almost like eating a Christmas pudding, which is really nice. So I'm going to start off, and I've got a bit of vinegar here as well. So that's a bit of white balsamic vinegar, and I've got a little bit of thyme, and I've got a vegan cheese. So we've actually made this vegan cheese. If you are vegan, I think we've given those recipes to Jean. She can pass it on to you, but it looks pretty much like a feta cheese. So I'm going to start off, and I'm going to put my vinegar into this pot here. It's just a very little pot, and we're going to get this onto heat so it starts boiling. So there's two ways you can do this. The one is you can actually put all of your ingredients into your frying pan and cook it up like that, or you can put it into the pot. And the reason I'm putting it into the pot is because I'm putting all these hard spices in, and you don't want these hard spices in your tart tatin at the end of your cooking. Right, then I'm just going to add a little bit of butter into that as well. Okay, so I'm just going to mix all this together and get this on the boil quite quickly, and that's going to form almost like a sticky, syrupy sauce. So that's going to reduce quite significantly. I'll just get that nice and hot. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slice up a little bit of, sorry, I must put the sugar in. So in here, I've got vinegar, I've got sugar, I've got about 50 grams of butter, I've got my star anise, allspice, and cinnamon, and that's going to start boiling really nicely now. And I'm going to get this so that it boils quite rapidly, and it's going to reduce quite quickly as well. So the sugar and the butter are going to form this really nice flavor, and the vinegar is going to reduce. It's going to give it a slightly tart flavor, and the vinegar is going to reduce, and it's going to start forming nice big bubbles, and that's what creates our syrup. So I'm just going to take this red onion here, and we're going to slice this because this is going to go onto our tart as well at the end of it. Guys, if there's any questions, please shout. If there's any way you think that I'm cutting something, or you want to see how something's cutting, or anything like that, just give us a shout. So there is a really quick way of doing cutting an onion, which I'll actually show you, but I'm not going to do that with this one because I've only got half an onion. I'm going to slice this super thin. Okay, so just really nice thin strokes like that. And this we're going to spread all over the tart at the end of it. So you can see this is nice and thin. And I'm just going to flake that nicely and put it back into the dish. Just a quick way, I've got half an onion left, so I'm just going to show you a quick way of dicing an onion. So if you've got an onion, you want to really dice it up quickly. What you do is you hold it like this, and you just cut slices into it like that. Okay, just try and hold the thing together as much as possible. Oops. And this one's only half an onion, that's why it's doing that. And then you literally just slice it like that, and your onion is completely diced, which is really nice. There we go, nice and quick and easy. Okay. Sorry? Yeah, red onion is fantastic. So the difference between red onion and brown onion is more like a shallot. So it's a much milder flavor compared to the brown onions that we have. And if you go over to the Mediterranean, you'll find that the brown onions that we have there are these really nice mild brown onions. So you can almost eat them like an apple. In South Africa, not so much. It becomes quite different. Okay. Yes, we can use shallots as well. So, and a shallot, if you don't know what it is, you do get them at Food Lovers Market. It's almost like a sort of a, how can I say, a weird potato-shaped thing. So it's quite long on each end as opposed to round, which is your brown onion. Okay. So my next step, I'm going to put spray and cook on this. So I'm just going to spray my pan quickly, and then I'm going to show you how to slice it up. So I've got a really nice big beetroot here. We'll just take that, and I'm going to cut this into quarters. And once I've cut it into quarters, I'm going to cut from this point going right down to the top end. Okay, so I'm making nice little wedges, just like that. Okay, so you want to create a whole bunch of wedges that you're just going to keep nice and even. And then we're going to spread this around onto your Tarte and pie pan just now. As you get closer to the end, but you'll see it starts getting smaller. So the smaller bits we're going to leave for putting into the center of the pie dish. So I'll just do that again on this side. And I should have enough from just these two halves to actually cover my whole pie dish. Let's just see. Another thing, if you don't like getting your hands red, you can see my hands and everything are getting really red. Just put a glove on. I don't mind it. I find it sort of, it adds to the flavor of the cooking. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to spread this around our pie dish like this. And you can see my sauce is boiling really nicely. It's bubbling away really well. So while you're doing this, you also want to put your oven on to about 180 degrees. And we're going to put this into the oven literally for a couple of minutes. So I'm lining the pie dish. You can see how I'm lining it all the way around like this. Okay, and you want to make the pattern as uniform as possible. I'm going to need some more here. The reason you do that is because when you turn this whole thing over, you'll see this pattern forming on the top side. And it'll look really fantastic. It's almost like a flower that you're creating. Okay, so you're just going to carry this all the way through. And this dish can also be created either as a side dish. So I had this the other night as a side dish to the chicken dish that I'm making, or you can actually sweeten it up and turn it into a dessert. So you can have it either which way you want. If you've ever tried beetroot as a dessert, it actually works quite nicely. But then you're not going to put things like cheese and obviously your salt and pepper in like you are going to do in this dish. Okay, then I'm just going to lay this around in the middle. Make it nice and round there. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's what my arrangement looks like. You can see it's nice and uniform. It's very pretty. And that's what it's going to look like when we eventually turn the thing over. Just washing my hands quickly. Okay. Right, so once we've done that, you can see my sauce is bubbling really nicely. So it's actually thickening beautifully. What I'm going to do now with this is all my sugar is melted, my butter is melted, and most of my vinegar is dissolved. So I've got this sort of really beautiful Christmas spice smell. You've got a sort of a sweetness from the sugar and a slight sourness from the vinegar. What I'm going to do now is just take this, and I'm actually going to strain it into this dish here. I'm actually just going to pour the whole thing over. And that sits around my pie dish. Make sure I can get all of that stuff out. Okay, so I've captured all of my bits and pieces in there. And we're just going to spread this around and make sure that it's all over the place. And this is what's going to form the syrup. Okay. Right, so that's pretty much done for now. I've got two options here. So we've made a vegan puff pastry. So the vegan puff pastry is quite an interesting one. So to make a vegan puff pastry, you actually have to make your own vegan butter. So vegan butter is made with coconut oil, and it's made with a couple of other things. But we've given you a recipe, or I've given Jean a recipe. If anyone wants to take it, you can follow it. So I've got the recipe here. So it's literally coconut oil, a bit of canola oil, there's some almond milk, apple cider vinegar, and nutritional yeast. And it actually forms this really nice butter. It doesn't smell great, but it tastes fantastic. So if any of you vegans out there, you want to try that, go for it. And then what we do is we make a puff pastry with it. So we're using pretty much the same as what you'd use in a normal puff pastry. So you can, your normal puff pastry comes like this, which is your rolled up quart one. But the vegan one, literally, we're going to roll it out, and we roll this butter into it a couple of times. So I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to slice this section off that. Now I'm going to turn this into a ball. Because what we're going to do is we're going to spread it around this pie. Just take a little bit of flour and smear it on your surface, and then I'm just going to roll this out nicely. So that's this perfect little disc. I should have enough pastry here. And all going well, this should raise exactly the same as a normal puff pastry. Okay, there we go. That looks fantastic. Okay, so try and get it as round and uniform as possible. This is just like making pizza, actually. There we go. So that should form over your bowl, just like that. So you're going to lay it over that, like that. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to take the edges and tuck the edges in so that they form like this little fold, just like that. You don't have to do it 100% accurately, but it just keeps all of the bits and pieces in there. Okay, so that's what your tart should start looking like if you've done it properly. Okay, there we go. All right, push that down. What you can do if you want to is you can actually brush this with a little bit of butter or a little bit of canola oil. I'm just going to do. But you don't need to put egg white or anything like that on it. Yeah. Right, there we go. So this pops into the oven, and that's going to cook literally for about 20 minutes or so. So I'm going to put that in the oven in the meantime. Okay, so that's the first recipe. When that comes out, we're going to literally flip it over, and then we're going to add some thyme onto the top, a little bit of red onion, and then we present it like that. Okay. Okay, so next step, this one I'm going to put away. The next one we're going to do is a cranberry and white rock stuffed Christmas chicken. So I've got chicken thighs, which I've prepared here, and I'm going to show you how to prepare it anyway. If you buy chicken thighs, often you can't buy the skinless ones. So occasionally they are there. If you do have normal chicken thighs at home, I'm just going to show you how to prepare that, and I'll show you what they look like at the end. So these are the two ones that are prepared. So that's what they look like at the moment. Okay, that's when they're all rolled up. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to do that. And what I'm also going to do in the meantime is I'm going to put a tomato and balsamic dish together, which is just going to be a little bit of an add-on to the chicken. So all I've got here is some tomatoes. I'm just going to add a bit of balsamic to that. I'm going to add a little bit of salt, and then a little bit of olive oil, and then I'm going to pop that in the oven as well. Then that's going to be part of the dish that we present. Okay. So if any of you are drinking any wine, this chicken dish will go really nicely with a Durbanville Hills Pinotage. I'll show you what that looks like if you want to take a look. There we go. Well, that way around. Okay, that's better. There we go. So that's chicken dish I'm about to show you. Pairs really nicely with that. So let's start off. Can you just get me a small baking dish, please? Okay, so I'm going to take this chicken. I'm just going to show you how to prepare it. So this is a typical thigh. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to take the skin off. So I'm just going to pull that skin off to that point. And then over here, we just literally slice off the chicken skin. I'm going to put that aside. And usually you have the little spatula, which is on the chicken on this side here. So I'm actually going to take that and I'm going to slice that off as well and separate that from the bone. So just going to cut that off nicely. Make sure that you keep all of the meat intact. There you go. You see that? Okay. Right, so just remove that. Okay, so what I've got here is I've got my chicken and there's a bone that runs along this point. From there you can see the top of the bone all the way down to there. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put my knife in on top of the bone. I'm going to cut literally right down to that bone. Okay. Then when I get to that point, I'm going to take this knife and just separate the meat from the bone very gently. Like that. And then take my knife and stick it under the chicken bone like that. And that way you can actually separate the meat from the bone entirely. When you get to this point, you can actually just scrape it off and then just cut the bone off from there. Then there's usually a little bit of gristle at the end here. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to cut that piece off. And that should give me a perfectly deboned chicken thigh. There you go. All right. What? Okay. Okay. So I've got 3 of these things. I'm going to put 2 together. I'll show you how to do 2 of them. Just do these 2. So I'm going to start off by seasoning the chicken with a little bit of salt and pepper. Okay. Bit of salt. And I'm going to take a little bit of sage. I'm just going to sprinkle some sage over this. And then I've got this beautiful white rock cheese. So it's quite a crumbly cheese, which makes it really nice to work with. So I'm just going to sprinkle that over. And you get different types of white rock cheese. You get a white rock cheese that's got a fig in it. Some of them have got, I think, cranberry in them as well. So if you can find one with cranberry, that would work well with this, because this is a cranberry and white rock chicken fish, I suppose. Okay. Any questions so far? Right, then I'm going to take my cranberries. So I've chopped these cranberries up really nicely. They're quite fine. I'm going to spread that around my chicken thighs. And as I said, you can use chicken breast for this. Chicken breasts, you'll obviously be a little bit bigger than the thighs. I like using the thighs because the thighs have got a lot more moisture to them than chicken breasts. Then what we do is we take this and we literally roll it up. Okay, so I roll it up nice and tight. And then I'm going to take a little toothpick and I'm going to skewer my chicken with a bit of toothpick. I'm actually sewing it through so that it holds it together. And please be careful that when you do actually take these out of your oven once they're cooked, to remove the toothpick. You don't want people stabbing themselves before Christmas. It's not very festive. Okay, then I'm going to do this one as well. The nice thing about this dish is that you get this sort of salty, cheesy flavor coming from the white rock, and you get this really nice sweetness coming from the cranberry. So the combination is fantastic. Okay, so there I've got those 2. I've actually got 4 of these pieces now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my stove on the go, and we're literally just going to brown this. Yeah. Fantastic. So yeah, if Lizelle says that you do get deboned chicken, you do get deboned thighs, so there's plenty of those around. But if you can't find them, and then obviously I've just shown you how to do it yourself. So I'm just going to put my frying pan on, and I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to that, and I'm getting it up to a nice sort of medium-high heat. What I want to do with this is I want to literally just brown the chicken, and once the chicken is brown, then we're going to put it into a nice baking tray like this, or baking container, and we're going to just finish it off for a couple of minutes in the oven. Okay. Let's just see how our tart is doing. Tart is doing pretty well. So it's going to be another 10 minutes or so before we can actually pull that out. Okay. Right, so I've got my frying pan on the go here. Leandro made a salad. Why don't you get that from me? Right, so I want to get this on so it's nice sizzling and just get that brown. Okay. Any other questions so far? All right. So what I'm also doing, we've got this Durbanville Hills honeysuckle, which is apparently a new release. Looks like I've never seen this before. It's a beautiful thing. It looks a little bit like Ryan O'Connor's background, which is quite nice. So I'm going to try this. Just open it up and see what this tastes like. But yeah, we've been told that it is a new release, and it should pair with, it looks like it'll pair nicely with a dessert. So we could try it with the beetroot, otherwise we'll try it with something else. I'll just give that a shot. So if you're not drinking anything at this moment, it's probably a good time to start now. It's almost 12 o'clock. The plane is going to fly over anywhere at any point in time right now. So cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Oh, that's nice. That's actually really nice. So this could work really nicely with some cheeses. So if you add a little bit of tartness to this, it'll actually really go with some, yeah, like a sort of a cheese board type dish. It'll also go well with a dessert. Yeah, just give it a shot. It's actually really nice. I thought it'll be a lot sweeter, but it isn't. Yeah.
Chef Bret, just a quick one. We're approaching 11:30, just a time check, because I know that unfortunately Zoom will boot us all off at 11:45. So we've got about 18 minutes, just a quick time check.
That's fine, perfect. We'll be done by then. So you can see what's happening here. I don't know if you can see that. We've got our chicken browning nicely. So all we're going to do is just get the chicken browned all over. And then it's going to go into the oven literally for about, I'd say, yeah, 10 minutes maximum. So we'll make it in time for our time check. Here we go. Okay, while that's cooking, another thing you can do, we're going to send you this recipe as well. We've created this beautiful summer salad. I don't know if you can see that. So in our summer salad, we've got some orange, we've got some walnuts, there's a little bit of gorgonzola cheese in there, avocado, and you can add all sorts of things to that. So if you want to, you can actually slice up some chicken pieces, or you can put some bacon into that and make a really nice summer salad as an accompaniment to this dish. Another thing, we've got little nasturtium flowers. If you can find red nasturtium flowers, obviously that's going to add to your Christmas cheer. So that'll be quite a nice little addition there. Sorry? Yeah, the Durbanville Hills, the Sauvignon Blanc will actually go really nicely with the salad. Okay, so you can see from here, these are browning nicely. I don't know if you can take a look at that. So you can see they're a little browned all over. That looks really good. I'm going to take these and actually add them straight into my baking dish here. I promise you, this works really fantastically with the beetroot tart tatin. Okay, so I'm going to add this into my oven, and that's going to cook for a bit. Okay, so this is the Tarte Tatin, so you can actually see it's bubbling around the edges. If you can see, everyone can see that. So it's actually bubbling nicely around the edges, and it's browned quite nicely on the top. So I'm just going to let this cool for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to turn it out. And that's where the trick comes in, is actually turning it out. So it is quite a delicate process, but I'll give you a tip on how to do that the best way possible. Right. So we're pretty much ready with that. I'm going to let that sit. We're cooking our chicken in the oven. We've made a beautiful salad here. Any questions? Anyone else? No questions. Okay. Right. So I've got a plate here that I'm going to add. Just do this. So this is quite hot. I'm going to try and do it while it's still quite hot anyway. So you can see this. If I shake this around, it's quite loose. And that's because I've sprayed it. Okay, so you can see that. So I sprayed it with a bit of olive oil. It's also got that, obviously, that sauciness inside it. So what I'm going to do is take this. I'm going to take a plate right over that. And if I do this fast enough, it should work quite well. I'll just find my thing. There we go. Okay. Okay, this is all super hot, so it's a little bit delicate. Let's take this off. So ideally, what you want to do is let this cool a little bit. Okay. Right, so there's my Tarte Tatin. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to take a little bit of onion, sprinkle that on top. Like that. Like that. And I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of thyme on it. Okay. And then I'm going to take my vegan cheese, and we're going to put a little bit of vegan cheese over the top of that. There you go. This vegan cheese is quite interesting, I must say. It's, I'm not vegan, but I've made this a couple of times, and it's really interesting. It's like a vegan parmesan that we made here. So the flavor is actually really fantastic. So there's two options here. What you can do is you can actually take this and put it back into the oven just to crisp that onion a little bit. And here's my tomato. So that's my tomato dish that will my accompaniments to the chicken dish that we're going to do. And then I'm just going to plate this quickly. All right. There's something else that you can also add to this, which would work really nicely, is sage. So I take sage sometimes and I deep fry it, and it makes this beautiful crispy little leaves that you can actually sprinkle all over your dish. Now I'm going to take our chicken dish out now as well. So this isn't going to be 100% cooked because of time. What I'm going to do is actually put this onto the plate so you can see what that looks like, just like that. And then what we can do is take a couple of sage leaves, sprinkle those around the plate, and sage will go really nice with this. So sage is your perfect stuffing for chicken. So if you just imagine the flavor of sage onto your plate with this chicken, it actually works really well. Okay. And then I've cooked my Tarte Tatin enough now. There we go. So I'm just going to take this and we're going to slice it up, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay. That will make the perfect vegetarian option or vegan option for your chicken dish. There we go. All right. So you can see there's a little bit of sauce in here. If you want to, you can actually cook it a little bit more. Okay. So there we have it. We've got this beautiful stuffed chicken thigh with some roasted tomatoes with balsamic and our beetroot tartatin. As I said to you, if you want to add a little bit more sugar, and you can actually change this into a dessert as opposed to an accompaniment, just remove the cheese and remove the onion. You can actually add, you can sprinkle a little bit of sugar on the top of that. It'll make it this really nice sweet dessert. And then you can have that with this beautiful nectar. It's the Durbanville Hills nectar. So there we go. That's
Cheers,
all
Chef.
that we have for the moment.
Wow.
So yeah, I think just if you want to take a look at our website, Stir Crazy Cooking School, also please tag Food Lovers Workshop and Stir Crazy Cooking School. And yeah, come and visit us at the school sometime. So
Nice
that's
stuff.
it. Over to you, Ryan.
Thank you very much. Emmanuel's saying we can smell the aromas coming through. Absolutely we can, Chef. Cheers. To everybody who's joined us as well. Cheers if you've cracked open that beautiful Durbanville Hills. A big cheers. And I don't know if there's any questions. I mean, feel free to hop in and ask Chef any questions. Now would be the good time. Please put your microphones on. I know that you've all been muted, but maybe now I'll just give a bit of a gap because we do have a couple of minutes left before the next session starts. So are there any questions now for Chef Bret?
You can ask anything, like of the different variations, substitutes. So if you don't have something, what can you substitute it with, etc.
Chef, can we substitute the beetroot for anything else? You know, if you have a fussy eater who's not into beetroot, can you do something else with it?
100%. So this dish is actually originally, as I said, an apple or a pear dish. Okay, which is generally a dessert. I've taken it and I've turned it into a vegetable dish. You can do it with something like potatoes, but you'll have to cook your potatoes quite thoroughly, properly. You can also do it with butternut. Butternut or pumpkin would make also a delicious pie like that. And the sweetness of the butternut would also come through, very similar to the beetroot.
Chef Bret, what about figs?
Figs. Figs would work. What I would suggest is you get figs.
It just...
Figs would work really nicely. So I would get figs that are not too ripe, obviously, otherwise they'll fall apart. But figs could work quite nicely with that. And that also work with that white rock cheese that we had. So if you want to do that as a combination, that would work really well.
That is a good idea.
Cool. Anyone else? I've got my hat. There we go.
Your festive hat, Chef.
There we go. Done.
It seems to me that the beetroot tart is the winner for this specific menu. Do you just want to chat quickly about the salad again?
Yeah. So the salad, this is actually it's an interesting salad. So it's literally, we've just got a couple of leaves in here. So standard lettuce leaves, you've got a bit of rocket and watercress in there. We've also got some avocado. I've got pecan nuts that I've roasted. And then we've got orange and gorgonzola in there as well. So the orange and gorgonzola work really nicely as a sort of add freshness to this whole salad. We've also got a little bit of red onion in here. So that will work nicely as an accompaniment to this whole dish. Yeah. The recipe is on our website. So if you want to download it from our website, I'll also send it to Jess, and Jess can pass it on to all of you. Sorry, Jean will pass it on to all of you if anyone wants this recipe as well. Okay.
Thank you, Chef.
Stunning. No more questions? Any more questions? Chef, thank you very much. That was really in 39 minutes. You really got our taste buds going. Reminder as well that there's a host of amazing deals, obviously, at Food Lovers Market. Some of those ingredients that the chef used there, they're all available, all at your nearest Food Lovers Market. And yeah, just a reminder, hashtag Food Lovers Workshop and at Stir Crazy Cooking School. And if you want to go learn to cook, you'll see that Chef Bret there's got some amazing facilities to go and do that. I've told Chef I'll join you in the new year. So those of you keen to learn a little bit more about being instrumental in the kitchen, we'll touch base with Chef Bret again in the new year. Thanks, Chef Bret. Have a good festive, and we'll chat to you soon.
Are we going to take a
Thank
group
you.
photo?
Thanks very much for joining.
Yes, let's
take a quick.
Have a lovely Christmas.
A group picture. Jean, can you
Group picture,
a
yeah.
screenshot?
Blonde, I've got absolutely no idea how to do it.
I think if you
Can
can.
someone do it and then send it to us?
No, okay. So if you feel brave enough, take your camera off so that we're all on the screen. If you don't feel comfortable, that's okay, because your name will appear. And then I will take a photo and I will tag all of you. How's that?
Can you see me?
Perfect.
Okay, there you go.
Can you see everyone?
I'm confused.
Jean, can you see everybody?
Yes.
Can you see
Well, I
everybody?
can see everybody, but not everybody's opted to kind of show their faces, and that's absolutely fine.
Can you,
That's fine.
Jim, can you see Aya?
Okay.
I can see Aya very clearly. I can also see Aya's glasses
Okay.
properly. Okay, say cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And another one. Amazing. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Jim.
Guys,
See you at 12.
thank you very much for joining the session. Another one is on the way in 19 minutes. Is a different link. For those of you joining us, then we'll catch you at 12 o'clock. Enjoy, be safe over the festive season. And from everyone at the Food Lovers Market team, just have a blessed, blessed festive season. And we'll catch you at 12 o'clock. Those of you joining, like I said, we'll catch you then. Otherwise, have a great weekend. Bye, everyone.
Wait, what must we have
Thanks,
for the
everyone.
next one?
What are you saying, Aya?
What must we have for the next one? Are you allowed to have drinks?
Yeah,
Whatever's available, whatever's in the bag. Red wine, white wine.
Go for it. Whatever you want.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.